you build your reputation in between events. So when you go to an event, it's kind of, you see the people that already got the reputation anyway. So.
And I could do my praying pose. This is it. Would you suggest him to start with iGaming Expos or LinkedIn? And which has the best, I guess, returns for you? What do most people misunderstand about the relationship between, between money and behavior in general, since we're talking about psychology?
The friction changes the behavior.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to iGaming Unplugged, officially unfiltered iGaming content brought to you by GammaStack. And of course, I am here with the one and only Ian Bedford. Now, this guy has been in the industry for over 15 years. I mean, this is probably the dawn of time at this point. Now, and we're going to be obviously diving into one of the most invisible forces in the iGaming industry, the payments. So, now, with being 15 years into an industry, working across iGaming, crypto, and Forex, and some of the toughest markets in fintech, literally, if money moves in complex environments, chances are people like Ian are there obviously doing business and making it possible. Now, he's also built a strong voice on LinkedIn around partnerships, payments, and high-risk markets. Ian, what is going on? Thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with your man, Ray. Finally,
Well, thank you, Ray. It's great to meet you. We've spoken about meeting quite a few times at events, so it's brilliant to meet you finally. And I'm really looking forward to the chat with you. I've got big shoes to fill. You interviewed Levon last week. You mentioned affiliate Papa, so no pressure, hey?
This is why I'm wearing boots right now. So you got boots to fill, not shoes. No, listen. I mean, we've been following each other on LinkedIn for quite some time. I know that you're very active on there, and but we all have like this foundation, I guess the time when the foundation was laid out. I mean, I don't think that any 15-year-old kid thinks, oh, you know what? I'm going to do payments. Like, I don't think anybody says that. So how the heck did you get into payments? You've been in there for so long. I mean, what was your background 8 Mile M&M story on that? You're still in there rocking it.
Yeah. So I fell into it basically like most things. I mean, when you're a kid at school, you never think, A, you're going to get into sales, and B, you're going to get into payments. I think the two together combined are probably like 1,000,000 to 1. So it's not a very exciting story how I got into payments. Prior to this industry, I was doing houseware sales to corporate companies, main chains in the UK, and I got very tired of the fact that people couldn't actually make a decision. So the lead time was like 18 months, and I was up to my eyes in traveling, and I said to my wife at the time, I've just had enough of this. She said, why don't you come and join me in payments? And then, that was it. That was the story. So my wife got me into it. She was a great salesperson. And I'm not afraid to say it, I learned so much in that industry as well when I joined, because it was, rather than the long sales cycle, it was more about speaking to smaller SMEs that you could actually get a real conversation from, and they'd make a decision on the spot. Yeah, let's do it. And it taught me resilience and persistence about, accepting no's. It's just all part of the sales process, but it's really, because everyone does payments, you can knock so many doors, call many people, email many people. And I think that's maybe what we'll get onto later, is that's kind of the annoying
we'll get
part
to
of
that
payments.
later. You're not getting away from that. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So that's the journey. I mean, I've been in sales all my life. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It's been good to me, to be honest. And payments is a really hard industry, to be honest. I coached in the first company I was in about 100 people, and they'd come through the door full of beans. Within a week, 2 weeks, they'd had enough. The rejection, that was what it is, because we're not the most liked people, unfortunately. So you have to give your edge.
And we're going to talk about that after as well. Let's just put the wasabi aside for now. We're just going to be having a small little milkshake out here. But I mean, like, you joined in payments. Were you like right away diving into iGaming Expos and doing the whole networking thing right away? I mean, or was it something that gradually happened that you ended up attending like Sigma, SBC, and ICE and so on?
Yeah, so it was a gradual transition. So it starts off with SMEs, and I realized that the problem is in payments. It used to be kind of a race to the bottom. So, as my tagline says, I sell solutions. So I was looking for a way of selling a solution to people rather than just beating the price, because any fool can do that. The company I was working with at the time, they had this revolutionary product. It sounds quite archaic now, but you could split a bill at the table. So I was going into lots of restaurants and pushing that. So again, that was like 2009, 2010, whenever it was. I can't remember exactly. And it sounds really basic now, but those sorts of things give you an edge, and it takes your conversations away from price. So yeah, that was what I kind of leaned into. And then I suddenly realized that, again, the route to market, partnerships, why not do that rather than that's sort of the one-to-many approach? So that was successful for me. And then it kind of evolved, and that's how I got into the current role, because I've been in partnerships for quite a long time. And this opportunity came up, and it's, to be fair, it's like a breath of fresh air. The iGaming industry is and the forex, crypto, all those markets and the verticals that we operate in, far more interesting, far more profitable. Yes, they're difficult, but I absolutely love it, and I'm in a really good place in high risk, and I love the events, I love the people. Also in iGaming, I feel as though the people are generally really nice to deal with. There's a people are more friendly, I believe, and you can have normal, honest conversations.
Wow, you just read me like an open book. Like in iGaming, I like to call it the Wild West. Like it's like a jungle out there. But if iGaming is the jungle, then I am Tarzan. Now, just let you know. Just let you know who's the Tarzan there. Now, King of the Jungle, obviously. But if we talk about like iGaming and so on, and you mentioned partnerships, you started getting into partnerships, and we're getting to that juicier side already because I want to jump into the exciting stuff. But if we talk about LinkedIn, the elephant in the room, obviously, amongst you and me and minds like that love to create content. And believe it or not, because iGaming is such an industry where you could talk to each other on Telegram, on Teams, you could call them, and also support each other content-wise on LinkedIn. So creating content. When did you realize, you joining in on LinkedIn and starting to post on LinkedIn, that it helped you actually get partnerships, and it was meant for that? That platform was meant for that, aside just from having it as a job application, like a CV form,
Yeah, so it's kind of when I started this current role, because I'm new to iGaming at that particular time, I didn't have any contacts. So for me, it was kind of, you get yourself out there, you can go to as many events as you want, but unless people know your name, then you're just a stranger in the room. Too many people obviously do the direct messaging approach. And early on, I started posting a few things about high risk. It was a bit more corporate, a bit more salesy. And following large creators, I realized that you need to show your personality on LinkedIn. And that's what it's all about, really, is being yourself, being less cardboard cut out, as I call it. As you know, Ray, the platform has completely shifted from 2007, 2017. It's a completely different environment now, and it's more about being a person, real human. And that's why, even though I don't like taking pictures of myself, people think it's you're in the ego or whatever. It's nothing to do with that at all.
I'm gonna interrupt you. I'm gonna ask you questions about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you questions.
I'll stop then.
Well, look, I mean, I might as well go into my next thing then. Now, if we zoom out once again, like on just the whole scope of LinkedIn and how important it is for iGaming, and I feel like it's a question itself. How big do you think iGaming industry itself, do you think it's small or not? But the actual question is that if you think about self-branding, like you and I kind of do that. Well, not kind of, we actually do. But what do you think is the biggest lie, the biggest misconception about self-branding that people have? Do you think it's authenticity, or maybe posting frequency, or something else entirely? And the reason why I'm asking is I think it's holding back from people actually trying to start this trend of self-branding. And you said that if you go to expos and nobody knows who you are in iGaming, you don't even have a name, or I guess a social authority, if we could call that.
Mm.
Why don't people do it? What's stopping them? You have AI, even you have ChatGPT. You could have a fake post in 3 minutes.
To be honest, if I'm honest, I think maybe it's a bit of a fear to start posting. I know when I started doing it, you feel like your colleagues, your peers are judging you. But the longer you do it, you just push through. And you could, like you said, GPT, you can get as posts as many as you want. However, if you don't put your own personality, your own spin, then you just sound like every other voice on LinkedIn, and people just flick through and scroll by. So I remember you said about that viral post you did, and you always wanted to try and to achieve it again. So there's that sort of you have to think about what can I do to make more impressions, and that becomes a problem in itself, which you deal with later down the line. But for me, it was just about getting my name out there, because I always think of LinkedIn as like a 24/7 networking event. You just kind of dishing out your cards to people, and people will catch you from a comment, a post. Yeah, it's a brilliant platform for that. Yeah, and I love your content too, Ray.
I appreciate that. I'm trying very hard. I'm going to just lay it out there. Everybody does judge you. Everybody judges me. Everybody judges everyone. It's how we live, to be honest. I've been posting content on every single social platform out there. And that viral post I was telling you about that got me addicted, like gambling, was probably TikTok. And I got like over 9 million views on a TikTok. And I tried to replicate that. I got 3 million views. Then I got like 1 million views. And then ever since I was like, okay, so I nailed TikTok, let me try YouTube a little bit. And now let me try the professional aspect of it, which I'm going to bring that topic a little bit later in there. But I feel like, why don't business owners in iGaming even do self-branding or create content? I mean, you're a business owner. You already have this authority. Do you think it's maybe the corporate culture that holds them back? Are business owners even afraid of being judged? I understand, like an average person, someone like me, I don't consider myself anybody special out there, except for my mom and my wife. Thank you. But, there's so many talented and smart people in iGaming. Why don't they post?
Yeah, same. Yeah. I honestly don't know. I mean, it could be time. It could be that fear again, fear of being judged. But I think the people that actually put themselves out there, the founders that do podcasts or whatever, or engage, they're just showing they're real people. They're not just a CEO or a startup founder, whatever. They've actually, you want to learn a bit more about that person rather than just the company. You want to know about their journey, their wins and their losses. I think it's really important. And I think more so lately, in the last few years, probably since around about 2020, that has accelerated, because I used to be on the platform before then. And it was definitely a lot more stale, stiff. You'd see your boss's update from 5 years ago, another CV, a job, and it's less about that now. It's more about, the only other thing I would say though, Ray, is that it's kind of gone a bit too performative, I think. And I think this is the downside of social media. It's got too performative.
It has. And, I was watching somebody, there was a LinkedIn guru out there. And he's like, if you're not doing this and you're not looking at your statistics and your likes, then why the heck are you even doing it? I'm like, there are so many other benefits why you would want to do social media and video. I mean, I preach about this all the time. Right now, when I'm in front of the camera, I'm speaking in a very clear, simple voice. You get to learn how to organize your thoughts. I mean, ChatGPT can help you create posts, but it's still going to teach you how to formulate and simplify your ideas. So aside from the performance, which I don't think people in the beginning should pay attention to unless you're trying to scale your brand and you got your first 1,000, 2,000 followers down on any social platform out there. And one thing that I've also noticed on LinkedIn, and I just want to hear your honest opinion on this. Do you feel that LinkedIn is becoming more of a social platform versus strictly this, this corporate type of B2B, B2C type of a platform that people expand on?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like, if you go to a networking event, you wouldn't go and get your laptop out straight away when you meet someone at the bar
I
or the
like
coffee
that.
shop,
True.
at the coffee queue, and say, look, let me just give you my 20-page PowerPoint on our company. You don't do that. No. You walk up to them, you shake their hands. Hey, coffee's good. Hey, where are you from? Let's, and you'll have a high-level conversation. That sort of stuff should be left offline another time when you've got time to have a deeper dive. But for me, LinkedIn is just more about the high level conversations, getting to know people, beyond the corporate mask, basically. And I think what the example I just gave about a networking event is true. So the people that use LinkedIn and still say thrilled to announce, or delighted to be here, or whatever, with no context, it's kind of just, it's, what's the point? It's so boring. I don't come on here to do that. I come on LinkedIn to find out more about people, because in partnerships especially, and in high risk, you need to understand and be able to trust the person you're dealing with, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, building trust and all that. Man, but I mean, get to that level, you really do need to stop at a certain level, care about what people think of you if you are afraid of sharing your knowledge and expertise, because all of us are experts at something. There's a great book called The Kim Kardashian Principle. And essentially, one of the lessons that I learned was, if a sex tape of you was released tomorrow, would you care? Think about it. In the early 2000s, the Kardashians, Britney Spears with Kid Rock. I mean, there's so many sex tapes released. It was the most natural marketing scheme you can do. And these days, you have adult content being released literally on a daily basis. We are just decentralized on this. This is becoming to a norm. But when you have to open up professionally about what you want, like, oh, all of a sudden I'm afraid to do that. But posting things and selfies. And speaking of selfies, Ian, I see you posting selfies all the time, and I am somebody that's very guilty of that as well. Honestly, I have a lot of amazing, well, not selfies, but just images of myself. I guess it's a great way to brand, but I would like to know the reasoning why you do the same thing. Is it to increase your engagement? Do you feel like comparing to just a written post and a written post with a selfie performs better only because they see your face? Is there a better connection? And would you suggest that to somebody jumping into LinkedIn tomorrow? They're like, oh, I want to make content. And then Ian's like, listen, download my course, but for every post, put a selfie on there. Is this something that works for you? I mean, you have more followers. You have twice more followers than me. You've been in the game for a lot longer than I have. So I just want to hear your take on that.
Yeah, so I think that the psychology behind it, I believe it is the fact that people see a face and they connect that person to that post. Now, what I've noticed is that actual text posts are increasing. So you get more impressions on a text post. However, the authenticity and the connection, I feel, may be lacking because you can't see that person who's written that post. I'd prefer if I didn't have to post pictures of my face, to be honest. But the flip side, Ray, is that the more people see you in the feed as well, your face, when they actually go to an event, they recognize you straight away. I have people come up to me saying, you're that, if they don't know my name, and a lot of them actually come up and say, Ian Bedford, I've seen you on LinkedIn. Or they say, you're that LinkedIn chap, because they keep seeing my face in the feed. So psychologically, it's really good for that. I've also tried doing image posts. So not a selfie, just like I don't know, like a meme or something like that. Some of them work well, but often facial ones work better, I found personally. But I'm dabbling with text posts because I notice a lot of people in iGaming, like Mihail, Henk, they do a lot of text posts as well. I think you've done a few as well, but they're quicker if you just do a text post.
They do horrible for me, mate. They're like, seriously, I get like 2 likes and it's my cat and me, so not working for me. This is why I wanted your honest take on it. And the selfie posts with a written post, it works well for me, man. I never thought about the fact that your image, your face would get stuck, in someone's head, and when they see you at the event, makes it easier. That's a good point. I never actually put that on paper. Never really thought of it. Thank you so much for joining in, man, on iGaming Unplugged, ladies and gentlemen. You saw this was an epic episode because I'm like a turtle going deeper and deeper in on this table as the conversations get hotter. Ian, thank you so much for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Bedford, follow him on LinkedIn and catch up on all of the coolest, newest updates from his universe, from his network, and make sure you connect with him out there. And we'll see you on the next episode. Ian, once again, I praise you and thank you so much for having the time to stop by, mate.
Thank you, Ray. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed every minute. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode. Make sure you click like and subscribe on our channels and all our social medias and show us all the support. You guys are the ones that are making this happen. Thank you.